If you use engulfing candles while trading Uni-Renko style charts, then this update is just for you. This video goes over the new updates for the reversal predator for NinjaTrader 8. Make sure to join us on Discord if you want a 7-day free trial. There's a ton of other free content in there as well. But guys, I don't want to make this intro too long, so let's just jump into it. First, let's go over why engulfing candles are so important and how we can utilize them while using Renko, or in this case, NinZaRenko style charts. So first, let's go over how an engulfing candle is formed. So in this example, let's say we entered long at this reversal candle right here. Then soon after we enter, the price starts going down here. This is where all the shorts start piling in. And we can see that from this little wick on this candle right here. However, this move down is short-lived because the bulls come in and they start pushing the price back up. And now at this point, we have to stop and think, where did all of these shorts place their stop? It is very likely that all these shorts set their stop somewhere along these lines. So now essentially we have all of these bulls that rejected a lower price, and we're combining that by all the shorts that need to cover their loss. And when we combine these conditions where there are no longer any shorts left and all of the bulls are showing strength, then that could lead to these massive movements we see here. And of course, this isn't just for the longs. This can work just as well when you're going short as well. So how does this all translate to the reversal predator? Well, in this version, we added extra options to set your main entries. So if you look at the top right hand corner of your chart, you will see reversal and engulf. You can toggle these on or off. When they are clear, that means they are off. When they are white, that means they are on. When the reversal button is toggled on, that means it is still going to trade your regular reversal candles. So if you want to trade exactly how it was before, just keep that one enabled. Next, you also have your engulf button. And with this one enabled, it's also going to set your main entries at the engulfing candle or your continuation candle. Now, when you have both of these enabled, it's going to take whichever one comes first. It's not going to prioritize reversal or engulfing. It's just going to be whatever the chart produces first. The other thing we added was an option to automatically add onto your position anytime an engulfing candle forms once you are already in a trade. Alright, and to set that up, let's go into the parameters. And from here, the first option you're going to see is whether you want to color in the engulfing or continuation bars. Here you can toggle that on or off. The offset is just how many ticks above or below your engulfing candle has to be from the previous candle in order to be considered an engulfing candle. And obviously you can select whatever color you want. Next we scroll down and you're also going to see the trade reversal or trade continuation engulfing bars. These check marks are the exact same as your buttons up here. They work in the exact same way. If you uncheck inside the strategy, it's going to uncheck up here. And also, if you uncheck it, it's going to uncheck it inside the strategy. So let's go back into the parameters and move on. Keep that enabled. And another thing, when you have this selected for the engulfing bars, that is the button up here, that is referring to these orders down here. These are your main 3 orders. And these ones you can adjust however you want. I'm not going to go over it in this video. If this is your first time with the Predator, make sure to watch these videos first to understand how it works. Okay, so moving on, we scroll down to our add orders. So it's going to be a little bit different now. As you can see, we now have an option to either keep it as manual. This is when you push the button, it adds to your position, exactly how it was before. And now we have the option to engulf auto add. And what this is going to do is once you're in a position and it sees an engulfing candle, it's going to automatically add to your position. And again, we can select whichever order you want to attach it to. So order 1, it's going to attach it to this order 1. Your position size is just how much you want to add on to your position. And the cancel auto add, what this function does is once you enter on your original order, that is one of these 3 main orders, once this number of bars pass, it will no longer consider any automatic entry. So by default, I have everything set to a high number just so it's always going to take the additional entry. But typically a lower number would be better because that means you get your engulfing pattern much sooner. So in a scenario where 50 candles pass and the move's already exhausted, it might not always be the best idea to add on during that time. You can change this to whatever numbers you want. Just set it to your own strategy. So for this example, I'm going to go 20 candles. And then I'm also going to add a second one. And the other thing I added was an extra little protection when you're using the add-on buttons. This is just in case your original order gets stopped out. It could lead to a potential open order that is not being handled. So just to show, I don't have an order number 3. I'm going to keep that disabled, but I'm going to attach this one to order number 3. And I'm going to keep the other ones as manual orders. Okay, and one last thing, I'm just going to remove my trail stops just so we can see our orders a little cleaner. So once you have all that, hit apply, make sure you enable your strategy, and we are going to hit play. Just going to speed this up.
Order filled.
So now we have our stop, we have our targets. We are waiting for an engulfing candle. First thing I want to point out is your add buttons. If you have an auto option selected, you're going to see it say auto. The manual ones are still going to say add. And very important is if you use the manual option at all while you're in a position, it's going to cancel any automatic function. The automatic function only works if you leave it alone. Once you touch a manual add, it will automatically cancel that auto function. So just keep that in mind. So here our candle is starting to go red. Let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, we are starting to go green.
Order filled.
So here you can see once we have our engulfing candle, we have our one confirmation candle set. Once that confirmation candle closed, it entered our add-ons. So for our first add, it got attached to our order number 1 that will show up as order number 4. And because our second add was attached to an order number 3, which does not exist from our original entry, it's going to automatically set a stop and a profit at 50 ticks from the entry. And this is just an added little protection. These are not going to be managed by any strategy because they are not attached to anything. These will have to be manually managed. Also, if your position gets stopped
order canceled.
It's going to go back to its original position. It's no longer going to keep re-entering until you are in a flat position. So in order to keep doing automatic entries, it first has to go back to being flat. That means no other open orders. But you can manually add if you want.
Order filled. Order filled.
And you can also exit out of those positions.
Order canceled.
So here I'm just going to play it. And I'm going to toggle off the reversal option. So once another engulfing candle shows up, it's going to use that as our main entry. Here I think is going to be 1 when this closes.
Order filled.
And now it uses that as our main entry with our order number 1 and order number 2 that we originally set. And if you just want to trade reversals, but you also want to just have the engulfing as an add option and not as a main entry option, just toggle off the engulfing main entry button up here. And this will make sure you enter only with the reversals and not the engulfing candles, but we'll still keep the automatic engulfing add feature. Alright guys, and for this last part of the video, I'm just going to run it so you guys can get a better idea of how it works. So I'm just going to go over it super quick. I just added my trailing stop to both the order 1 and 2. I'm going to change the auto add to order number 2. I always recommend to attach your adds to the last order that will ever get stopped out. This way, if your first order is to hit a profit target and then you add onto it, this way it won't leave that add unmanaged. So it's just a little extra protection. But again, everybody has their own way of doing things. You can do whatever works for you. So I'm going to hit OK, just going to enable, and I'm going to play it really quick.
Order filled.
So let me pause. So here we entered, we start trailing by the ticks right away. So let's just hit play.
Order filled.
And we
Order
added
canceled.
onto our position. Here we still have our 4 contracts. So our original 2 and then another 2. And it's just going to keep trailing. And let's see if we get stopped out. No. So here we have another engulfing candle, but because we already added onto it, it's not going to keep re-adding. It only does it the first time. And here we go. It's just going to keep
Order
trailing
canceled.
until we
Order
eventually get
filled.
stopped out.
Order filled.
And then same thing with the short. We add it onto our position. And
Order filled.
it's the end of the day. So that's basically how it works, guys. And again, a million ways to configure this. You can set it up however you want. You don't have to set it up if you don't want. I'm just giving more options to those that want it. But that's pretty much how it works. And that's it for this one, guys. Take care. Enjoy.